This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 for a 2v2 on the map Battlebase Octopon. As the Red Allies in the northern position, this is Pika. As the Purple Empire, the teammate of Pika, this, reposition his MCV just a little bit, is asdfghjk, period. I think at some point somebody told me who their Smurf is, but I looked them up on Shadowbrick and I didn't recognize any of their alternative names, so I still don't know who that guy is. As the Yellow Soviets kicking off team number 2, this is Dimon. Yes, indeed, he is back to playing some Soviets for us all to enjoy, and his teammate playing as the Cyan Empire, and rounding out these 4 players, this is Bashley. B. Ashley reporting for duty, and actually the last time we saw Bashley and Dimon, at least in the game together, they were actually playing against each other. So there was a 1v1 on Industrial Strength that had a good amount of action. It was quite fun to watch, and now I'm excited to see these guys going at it together, this time as teammates. Allies Empire versus Empire Soviets. So we get a nice representation of all of the factions here, and we're doubling up on Empire players as opposed to doubling up on Allied players, which is a little bit more common. Just there are a lot of Allies players in the mix for the last couple of years. There have been. They don't necessarily win the tournaments, but they are there in representation. Looks like Dimon going to be moving out towards the middle of the map. Nothing too crazy going on in his base just yet. We do see a little bit of an engage here between the Peacekeepers and the Imperial Warriors, but not too much to worry about for either player. A couple of conscripts and a couple of bears going to be making their way out for Dimon, and of course he left that sentry gun home, so as soon as those Tengus try and harass, he will be able to deal with them quite speedily. A couple of Peacekeepers are winning the fight, but the Tengu is going to win the fight versus the Peacekeepers. Behind this, it's just Tengus out on the field for our Empire players. No big surprise there, and it looks like a quick 3rd refinery taken for Pika. And Dimon is doing the same exact thing. 3 refineries before the War Factory for Dimon. And it looks like 3 refineries before the airfield for Pika. Airfield is going to be in a pretty central location, and the first harassing Tengus are coming in here from Bashley. Going to be taking one of those harvesters offline for at least a couple of moments. Meanwhile, Dimon is going to have his own Tengus to worry about. Fortunately for him, he does have the War Factory nearby and garrisons up the civilian structure with a couple of flaks. A perfect execution here. As he kills off that Tengu, it nearly takes down a couple of wall segments here, and Bashley is going to have to pull off a harvester, get some repairs, and make his defense with Tengus. Flak cannon being added into the mix so the Tengus can stay on the ground while the flak takes care of anything in the sky. Nice transform there by Bashley. Let's hope it doesn't work out too poorly, but seems like he's going to be all right because ASDF is repositioning the Tengu and is not going for harassment on that harvester. Bashley gives up the chase. A couple of javelins are here for Pika, and it looks like we will stabilize most of the players arching their way towards that 3 refinery stability point. And other than that, nothing too wild just yet. Relatively conservative play, all things considered, and no big risky plays from anyone. A couple of Apollos coming in here for Pika. Tengu trying to go for the splash damage on that refinery core, and actually the Vindicator could have dropped all of its bombs on the refinery core. I think the refinery core would still survive, but it would be significantly weaker, and they actually maybe could have gotten a kill on it. Tengu's going to try and close in. Bashley trying to body block. A good attempt, but it's going to be a good old-fashioned outrunning of his opponent's units that saves that refinery. This is a super delay on Bashley's 3rd refinery. That means anything that Bashley was hoping to do has been delayed as well. But the super reactor is up and running back in Dimon's main base. Tesla coils are coming up. 4th refinery is getting added on, and Dimon is happy to play this one out a bit slower, a bit more economy-focused, and a bit more defensively. He's not terribly worried about putting big pressure out on the map, but he has actually found a way to put significant pressure on ASDF while getting his own 4th refinery. So that actually is a huge win for Dimon. Drops a flak cannon in his ally's base, gets his own 4th refinery with a Tesla coil to harass his opponent's 3rd, and that is a great kill there by Dimon. You delay Bashley's 3rd refinery, he kills your 3rd refinery. And that is, I guess, the advantage of having Dimon as a teammate. Bashley with a couple of Tengus, circling the map, looking for an opportunity to engage. Everyone keeping a strong infantry presence throughout the map. I guess there's not a ton of units on the field. Toxins, maybe? There we go. Good night. Toxins clean up a nice little crowd of infantry there. A couple of Tengus for Bashley getting eliminated, and Vindicators making some runs around the map. A couple of... Oh, this is actually trouble at home. The Bullfrogs may not be close enough. If they want to suicide it, they might be able to get it. No, they call off the attack. They go for the safety route, and that's a situation where if you want to suicide, you have to position them over top of that super reactor so that if the flak cannons take down the strikers, that they crash land most likely on that super reactor. But the strikers back off. They will not go for that kill today. Dimon with that cash back a couple of different times here has found his mark. He will lose a harvester in the middle of the map, but all things considered, that is not a high price to pay for this opening that Dimon has been able to execute. Striker's going to get a couple of shots off, not enough to kill ASDF strikers. Bashley just one rocket short of a confirmed kill. Ooh, no activation of the nano deflectors, so Pika gets a kill with that Vindicator. He's up to single vet on that Vindy, and he's going to be backing off for now. He should be able to refuel and get back out onto the field. Pika maybe has garrisoned up a few too many structures. Dimon is not liking it. A little bit of back and forth, but it's up to tier 3 for Pika. Claims himself a hammer tank for free. So often we see the allied players with those Athena cannons poking and prodding at the armies, trying to pare down those unit compositions as much as they can before the engagement happens. Vindicator makes another run, looks like cleans up another tsunami tank. Bashley getting a bit careless with those tsunami tanks. He's been tier 2 for a little while, so has ASDF, and other than those strikers, I'm not sure that ASDF has really produced too much with that tier 2. Oil derrick is nice, but getting up a 3rd refinery would be even nicer for ASDF, who hasn't found much of a economic reinforcement since he lost that refinery to Dimon. He will take the far away refinery, and Dimon will give up the building in the middle of the map. Bashley eventually found his own 3rd at a nice spot in the corner of the map, nice and hidden away from the front lines. Pretty minor target practice for that Athena cannon. A little bit of harassment going to be coming in here. Sentry gun might be a touch too late. Bashley doesn't have much reinforcements to heal up that harvester because on the other side of the map, it's going to be a big attack on Pika's main base. This may initiate some kind of an all-out war, but on the front lines, it's going to be hammer tanks in mass, and this might just be too much. Dimon's Toxins perhaps trapping his own units and not allowing them to get the best engagement possible. Tengu's going to be trading out against the Apollos, and it's up to the strikers to do the damage on the ground. A couple of Tengus have transformed, shut down those harvesters, get those kills, but it's going to be the IFVs that chase away the strikers, and there are no building kills, just a couple of harvester kills, which might mean that that actually worked out in Pika's favor. Only losing a couple of harvesters to all of that firepower being useless, as Bashley doesn't find any real advantage with those units. Maybe a strike back will happen. IFVs aren't ready to tango with this many Tengus as he loses 3 IFVs right away, and another power plant will go down in the middle of the map. Minor harassment coming in here from ASDF on the south side of the map. Dimon once again going to be shutting down the allied forces in between the two bases. They are targeting each other down, and it's going to be an Athena Cannon versus an Athena Cannon Hammer Tank, but the Hammer Tank goes down, and the harassment continues as Bashley's forces reform their front line and look for a bit more value. 2 strikers go down before the transform. There's the transform, and it's going to be strikers here from ASDF to seal the deal on the boys on the ground. Every single one goes down, and Bashley trades 1-to-1 in the sky. Unfortunately for Bashley, that engagement, well, it went well at the beginning, but not at the end. Losing almost everything in his attack group right at the end there. Even that Vindicator getting a couple of extra kills. Nice bomb splitting by Pika, utilizing that Vindicator for maximum value. It's going to be more Tengus, it looks like, on the refuel from Bashley. More harassment, but the sentry gun has been there for a little while. ASDF is going to need a bit more firepower if he wants to actually break through that defense. One Tengu chased all the way out into the open waters, and unfortunately it is Athena Cannons, one of the best artillery pieces in the game, maybe not the best, but one of the best, versus Hammer Tanks. One Tsunami gets given away for free. Those 2 Tsunamis donated. He gets only a couple of tank busters back for his trouble, and it's going to be up to these Hammer Tanks to break this attacking allied army. Mirage Tanks are behind it, but he's going to be up to this. Oh, the big transform, and the honorable discharge lays waste to that expensive allied army. There's a lot of Hammer Tanks still on the front line, but they're not trading super well versus the infantry. The Athena Cannons get in their last couple of shots, and only one survives the fight. It's going to be the Tengus as the reinforcements. One Hammer Tank has grabbed an Athena weapon, and these Tengus have not done much of anything. They turn around at the last second, but ASDF was a distraction, and not much more than that. Perhaps the honorable discharge raining death and destruction, but somehow a couple of flaks found their way to the outside, down to the south side of the map, to the new 3rd expansion of ASDF. Toxins get dropped on the War Factory. A good choice there from Dimon. If he doesn't see any active targets, wherever your ally or wherever your opponent tries to get repairs, can always be a nice place just to deny those repairs, make it a bit more difficult to do anything with those units while the Toxins are there. Multi-gunner turret down there probably could be sold off. It's probably not doing too good for Pika, who's taken another expansion here in the middle of the map, rounding out those 2-5 expansions. Fresh command hub is here to give that build radius in case Pika needs to deploy anything there defensively. Mirage Tank steps a little bit too far forward. Pops its special ability, but obviously that doesn't do anything to stop the Twin Blade missiles. Tengus may be catching these Twin Blades. Bullfrogs are here, and these Twin Blades barely escaping doom and death. A couple of Twin Blades unbelievably low on HP. ASDF maybe found the way to thread the needle between all of the defenses of Dimon. He's found the one angle that works. He's going to get a nice bit of damage on that Harvester, but the explosion didn't land on the Harvester. Tengus getting warded away by these Bullfrogs. Apollos fly directly overhead, but only one pays the price. Hammer Tank just leeching on that building to heal up a little bit. And one random Imperial Warrior who came up sort of out of nowhere. Twin Blades pull into the Allied base, get 1 kill, and then are going to evac over the water. Running away from those IFVs. Tengus, big transform onto the ground. 1 Tengu still in the sky. Athena Cannons looking to pop some shots, but it's going to be the Vindicators that take down the Hammer Tanks. They're going to need to refuel a lot more than that to stop this Soviet army if Dimon commits to the attack. It's going to be a little bit of leeching away at that building. Athena Cannons get 2 good kills, and the infantry army has been thinned out. If the Athena Cannons don't have something to buffer for them, the Hammer Tanks can jump on top of them. We'll see if the Mirage Tanks are enough because last time it was the Tengu honorable discharge that took care of those Mirage tanks. Dimon looking for every angle and opportunity in the north, nearly finds it, but isn't quite able to clean up all of the Tengus. If the Tengus get cleaned up, then potentially the IFVs can be dealt with. But the combination Tengu and IFV can be a little bit too powerful with them in this. What is this? An engineer gets dropped in, and the engineer will survive, but Bashley doesn't give the command, and the engineer will die to the sell-off, and that is pretty much as good as you can ask for. And look at that. Dimon's luck finally runs out. 2 Twin Blades getting dropped right as they exit on the other side of the map. A couple of Mirage tanks perhaps going down, and it looks like a couple of Hammer tanks have found their weapons as well. Toxins, once again, going to be preventing those repairs from coming through. Cryogeddon is going to isolate this army. One Hammer tank might get frozen. It will get broken, as it looks like the rest of the Hammers will escape for the moment. ASDF doesn't find the kill, but the Mirages are going to take the opportunity of the split army. And no, actually, they're not going to find much damage at all. The Hammer tank does eventually go down. Bashley looking to reignite that harassment on the other side of the map. A couple of tank busters going down. Athena Cannon still standing strong. They're just taking out tank after tank. Half the HP off of that tank. Bashley recommitting to the harassment. He's going to be able to get the Harvester pretty easily, and it looks like that other refinery hasn't yet been rebuilt. Although, with these reinforcements coming in, it looks like ASDF is going to try and challenge. It's Emperor's Rage versus not Emperor's Rage. I don't know who's got the better force firing. For now, it looks like it's Bashley. Nice unit control from Bashley to get even more value, and the only thing that ASDF can do is try and get the kills with the honorable discharge. Back on the south side of the map, the Mirage tanks are reforming the front line, and it's going to be the call-in of the final squadron to try and break up the front line of Dimon. It looks like he might actually just be abandoning this entire location. That's a fully heroic Athena Cannon. That girl burns through everything. Final squadron comes down. Minor hits for sure. Not the value that you were hoping, but if you were hoping to force Dimon out of his pocket, then you have indeed accomplished that. Athena Cannon's going to start burning through those buildings. Pika's forced to sell off back at home. Dimon going to be cycling around the map. Goes to the 12 o'clock position of the inner circle, and it looks like he's going to be looking for an allied MCV. If he could shut down the tech, that would be no more Athena Cannons. A full tech reset on that allied MCV would be catastrophic for Pika. IFV's going to be backing off. They walk up that ramp and they simply decide, not a fight for me. Tengus against Tengus in the sky. Bashley has gone big Tengus. He got that tier 2. He tried some strikers. He tried some tsunami tanks, but it was not meant to be. It's back to the Tengu spam for the Empire players, and he's going to find the Athena Cannons. That's the kill he's been wanting all game long, and that's the death of this allied army. But the Empire is still on the ground. Hammer Tank's going to be committing into the Mirage tank line. It's a slaughter. It's going to be on both sides, but it's high-value Mirages versus the low cost of the Hammers. The Mirages almost win out in the end, but barely. The Hammer Tanks do win. I almost became a liar in the middle of that statement, and Dimon has not found the victory that he was looking for. The death of those Athenas was not the death of Pika, as he will keep his hopes alive. The Tengus might even escape. No, that heroic Bullfrog just absolutely slaughtering those escaping Tengus, and Dimon's army fully reset. One Mirage tank survives the fight, but it's the multi-gunner turrets that get the last shots. What a slaughter that time. Both fronts. Mirage's DPS is so good. The Vindicator escapes, but the Bullfrog may not, as this Tengu transforms and goes for the kill. It's going to be a trade. The Tengu won't escape. Takes down a couple of conscripts with it. Never a straightforward trade from these folks. Walls getting deployed by ASDF, but the command hub will be surrounded and taken out. Bashley with the northern expansion, Bashley with the eastern expansion, both of them under trouble at various times, and that is a fully locked down Harvester that I think was forgotten about. So Bashley, perhaps an architect of his own economic problems in some sense. We all forget about our Harvesters sooner or later. One more multi-gunner turret gets deployed. He'll get the kill on that Collector. So sell off the multi-gunner turret now, and that's as good value as you can get. A kill on a Harvester is already worth more than the Collector, and suddenly Bashley finds himself down to half of the Harvesters that he was at. Only a couple hundred left and a couple thousand left in that ore mine. Dimon will take what advantage he can by killing this. By killing nothing. He decides to let it live. Athena Cannon might get trapped by the toxins. Gonna take a lot of damage as it transfers to the other side, but fortunately the toxins are not on top of the repairs, so the Athena Cannon will be able to even get, nope, almost gets a shot off, but not quite. Cryoblast fires off. Fully heroic Tengu is going to be able to help chew through this command hub a little bit more quickly. Dimon reforms the front line. Is that a Mirage weapon baked onto one of these hammer tanks? It may indeed be. Vindicator comes through. And the final squadron gets called in once again as well. The Crusher Crane. No, not the target. Way out there at that sentry gun. ASDF says, I'm tired of dealing with that. It's once again a Tengu fight over Pika's base. And once again, the Harvester survives. Another command hub will be established. Pika is unkillable, it feels like. Every attack gets deflected and rebuilt from. The rebuilding seems to never end with Pika. Knock down a refinery, he manages to keep the Harvester alive, manages to keep the expansion coming back. And Bashley is getting surrounded. It's a full surround on these Tengus. The last transform happens, but it looks like ASDF is still going to be able to catch and kill what remains. One will escape. The split happens, and it's going to be a fully heroic Tengu that ends up going down for Bashley. What looked like the start of a one-sided push as Dimon and Bashley caught and killed that allied army has turned into an extremely competitive, scrappy, late-game, chaotic match. It is just back and forth in every direction on this map. They go to the north, then to the south, the east, and the west, and it seems like nowhere and nothing is safe. I love the walls from Dimon. A nice delay tactic when you're against someone with Athena cannons. It at least stops them from getting too close. Or they just spend their time attacking the walls, and you get a nice little warning system. Bashley re-expanding in the... Oh, no, actually, that's the second expansion in the north from Bashley. Finally going up to 5. A lot of cash out on the field for Pika. Although Bashley may be about to lose this expansion. Yeah, the Athena Cannon from the high ground is a pretty easy kill on that refinery. Another Tengu, it looks like, flying over top of this expansion. Harvester not back online. Walls are getting broken down. Dimon might need to do something about this. Bashley is here on Overwatch with those Tengus. Twin Blades clear out the ground, and the Tengus are going to find themselves a fight. ASDF and Pika managed to get 1 kill, maybe 2, but the Bullfrogs are here to hit back, and that is going to be a confirmed kill on Apollo. So a relatively minor trade, all things considered. And if Pika gets a kill, lucky boy Bashley. Harvester doesn't have much of a home, but the Tank Busters are going to be able to clean up that Tengu attack squad of 1. I guess it's not much of a squad. No, cancel the Harvester! Cancel, cancel, cancel! No, cancel! Oh, no, he doesn't. All right, well, he's got a backup Harvester, I guess. Unfortunately for Bashley, 1,400 credits down the drain. That could have been another Tengu and a half. Nearly 2 Tengus. Vindicator comes through. Is that a... That is a heroic Vindicator. Your eyes do not deceive you. Dimon did not crush his MCV. It's still here in the middle of the map. And now it feels a bit like a stalemate. Magnetic Singularity. Oh, takes down the refinery. Okay, okay. That's a refinery with 14,000 credits. IFVs are here, and the Cryogeddon. 1, 2, 3. Are you kidding me? Dodges every single one. He's going to pay the price against the Mirage tanks, but at least he can trade back with a couple of Twin Blades. A couple of Mirages go down as they come up to the top of the hill. And that was almost disaster. The Tengu's going to transform on top of the Mirages, and the Tengus can trade out okay with that Emperor's Rage, or with that Honorable Discharge, rather. One Mirage tank is left, and the Tengus do find their damage. The IFVs all go down somehow. That trade actually turns out all right for Dimon. 2-3 Athena cannons left on the map, but only one Mirage tank, it looks like, and the harassment hasn't restarted. Okay, it's just balloon bombs in the north. 2 Vindicators go down. Bashley finds the damage against Pika, and he's gonna find the Athena cannons again. The transform is worth it. Trading Tengus for Athena cannons, you'll do that every day of the week. Even if you do have to trade out 3 or 4 of these Tengus, unfortunately for Bashley, a couple of them are double vet heroic or just veteran, and that is going to be a nice kill for Bashley. Getting those Athena cannons takes some of the worry off of Dimon's plate. His MCV down at half health. Tank Buster Surprise is here harassing that Harvester. Will they change targets in time? It looks like the answer is no, but a nice amount of health taken off of that refinery. Okay, Pika almost falling victim to a movement bug there, where sometimes the collision boxes of units and buildings are a little bit wonky, and things that you don't quite expect to happen end up happening. Tengus get the kill on that. A couple of Mirage tanks are here. Pika so good with these Athena cannons, just constantly able to pick off those tanks. Magnetic Singularity, that's going to be the opening. Only one Mirage tank gets caught. Dimon may try and close the distance and jump on it. For now, he's just going to use the Leech Beam. Going to take down the power plant, but it's not enough to take him offline. Hammer Tank with the Mirage weapon manages to escape. It looks like Striker commits into the attack, going for that fully heroic Mirage Tank Hammer, and he will get it. What a kill for ASDF. Finds the damage that he wants. Tengus are going to pull back from the front line, once again harassing Pika. That main base always under threat. Twin Blade going to commit, but a little bit too much damage there on the ground. It's going to be up to the Athena cannon to try and escape, but no, these Mirage tanks are the only thing that might be able to escape. Hammer tanks down into the middle of the map. Just so many trades back and forth for all 4 of these players, for both of these teams. And the sudden transport surprise with the tank busters managing to knock down some more of Pika's buildings, perhaps. Vindicator going to be coming in. Goes for the sudden transport. Doesn't actually get the kill. I'm going to hope that the Peacekeeper can get the kill, or the tank busters will take down that Peacekeeper. V4 is finally here. Dimon finally goes up to tier 3, and he's going to try out his own artillery option. Okay versus buildings, not great versus units. Terror Drone will not get the infect. Nicely done by Pika. Gets the kill on the Terror Drone, but the Hammer Tanks will get the kill on that Mirage. Athena trying to trade back. It's just a dodge for everyone. Everyone involved hoping to dodge their opponent's strikes, and they largely do. Bashley, Overwatch once again. Always with that anti-air capability, flying around with these Tengus. This has been a pretty wild, action-packed match. Stability has not been something that has been common. Every point, seemingly, gets attacked sooner or later. Much of the focus has been on the middle of the map. I guess the northern half of the map has been much more action-packed than the southern half. We've had bits and bobs here in the south, but it's really been the middle of the map plus that area around Pika's base. Tengu is going to get cleaned up, and I guess you transform and then just try and dive on that Chopper VX. Yeah, you get the Chopper VX, nicely done. Gets both. Will he trade? He's going to try and escape. Apollos show up as well. Only a couple of Tengus might make it out alive, but I guess that's better than nothing, or maybe it would have been better to turn and fight and just trade as much as you can. The Bullfrogs will find the damage, but no. The Bullfrogs get transformed on themselves, and they get cleaned up. Every single one goes down. ASDF finds the kills. Sooner or later, ASDF makes it happen. So many times he almost gets the kills and just gets shut down, but again and again we've seen in this game, ASDF has found that damage. It's like every time you think he's making a bunch of mistakes, that was great. Satellites and magnetic singularity trapping this allied army. That might have been the highest value for a tier of a satellite drop. I think that was a tier 1 satellite drop, and it got some crazy value. Honorable discharge, nicely done. Takes down the sentry gun quite quickly, and it's going to be up to these Tengus to get the kill on those harvesters. 2 harvesters down. Nearly, yes, he gets them both, and I guess it's going to be, no, actually able to escape with 2. Wow, all right. 2 escape, all things considered. That actually worked out fairly well. Definitely not... Actually, I don't know. That might have been a positive trade for ASDF. Feels like he lost too many Tengus to be positive, but once he had committed to the attack, he got a lot of value for those Tengus, all things considered. Balloon bombs getting called in, going for the squadron of power plants, this little pack of 4. They're a bit tight, and he's hoping that will take him offline. Pika can't last forever if his base defenses are down, and the power plants will go down. 2 of them for sure, maybe the 3rd one as well. No, not barely. And Pika, low power mode, could be an opportunity. It's going to be the tank busters on the ground that get the kill on the power plant. 1, 2, 3 volleys. The 4th will seal the deal, and the power will stay offline a little bit longer, but the Tengu is going to answer back the harassment, and ASDF is going to get as much value as possible, but the MCV may finally have found its match. These hammer tanks committing to the attack, even into the toxins. Oh no, they commit all the way, and they get it. Finally, Pika goes down. If Pika hadn't lost the MCV, I think this game had a chance of going on a bit longer. Tier 3 goes down. War Factory goes down. Pika is done and dusted after an incredible fight, oftentimes holding off Dimon and Bashley together. Pika is going to wrap it all up in the last couple of units. Couple of Mirages, Vindicators for support. Maybe not Vindicators for support, as that airfield gets encroached on by those Tengus. Dimon and Bashley. I mean, Dimon with the Twin Blade, but Bashley with the Harass all game long. Mostly Tengus. These Mirages might actually be able to clean up these Tengus. They're going to go for the sacrifice, so it doesn't matter. Never mind. The last Tengu will get the kill. Kind of nothing you can do. 3 Tengus will escape. Oh, GG gets called. Pika and Bashley going to be throwing in the towel there as Dimon... Wait, Pika and ASDF throwing in the towel. Dimon and Bashley will take it. Pika, an absolute force to be reckoned with in this game. As I said, often 1v2 in the middle of the map. ASDF having points where he both ran, sprinted, and crashed over the hurdles. A fantastic performance of a game and solid performances from everyone. I feel like basically everyone in that game had their points to shine and then also sort of had their mistakes as well. But an action-packed 2v2 to be sure. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out.